Okay.
Jeho, everybody's counting on you here, okay? Oh, we are recording in 5, 4, 3.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 1800th episode of Toronto Mic'd. I'm Jeremy Hopkin, the official Toronto historian of the Toronto Mic'd podcast. And today we're recording live from the billiard room at Casa, Loma, which is an iconic landmark of Toronto.
What up, Mike?
I thought you'd have more energy.
I'm so sorry.
Give this man more coffee.
I was on the spot, and yeah, I haven't had too much coffee yet.
That's all right. You did me proud.
Sorry, man.
It's only episode 1800. Welcome to episode 1800 of Toronto Mic'd. Proudly brought to you by retrofestive.ca, Canada's pop culture and Christmas store. Great Lakes Brewery. Order online for free local home delivery in the GTA. Palma Pasta. Enjoy the taste of fresh, homemade Italian pasta and entrees from Palma Pasta in Mississauga and Oakville. Blue Sky Agency. Ask Doug Mills about how Silent delivers the space to focus, collaborate, and recharge. Nick Iones. He's the host of Building Toronto's Skyline and Building Success, 2 podcasts you ought to listen to. Kindling. Go to shopkindling.ca for free 1-hour cannabis delivery. Recyclemyelectronics.ca. Committing to our planet's future means properly recycling our electronics of the past. And Ridley Funeral Home. Pillars of the community since 1921. Today, returning to Toronto Mic'd for his quarterly. We're live, as Jeremy said. We're in the billiard room at Casa Loma. That's right. It's the official Toronto historian of the Toronto Mic'd podcast, Jeremy Hopkin. How you doing, Jeho?
Pretty good. Good morning, Mike.
Let's set the table here, okay? So we are recording on November 17th, 2025. And then I'll tell you what I did, and then you'll tell me what you did. But I woke up, I got out of bed, I dragged a comb across. I never drag a comb across my head, okay? But got the 9-year-old up at Adam, get her to the YMCA before school care. And then I put my studio in a box, and I strapped it to a bike trailer. And I biked from South Etobicoke. I'll tell you exactly what I did, Jeho.
All right.
I biked Royal York northbound to Bloor. And those wonderful Bloor bike lanes, I took eastbound to Lansdowne. Mm-hmm. Then I shot up Lansdowne to Davenport. Oh. And then I went a little further east until there's this hill on Walmer. She's nodding. Yes. Alicia's nodding over there. So... And there I was at this beautiful, the only castle in the city. Jeho, here we are recording live from Casa Loma for episode 1800. This is amazing.
Yeah, I can't believe we're doing this. This is just incredible.
How the heck did we break in? What happened here? How did we get access to this billiard room?
Not today, but one day we're supposed to be doing a covert thing where we break into some building one day and do that, but not today.
What building are we going to break into?
I don't know. We'll see.
Would you do that? Because that's more exciting than this. We were allowed in.
We'll do some guerrilla reporting.
So let's give some love to, the good people who blessed this recording at Casa Loma. And there's a young lady next to you. I'm going to unmute her microphone, but introduce us to who is on your right.
This is Alicia Majorano. Is that how you pronounce your name? Yes. I wasn't sure. But I met her actually at a car show through her sister, Celeste.
Yes.
And she is a member of the Oldies Car Club. So we do some of these shows, like the ones that you've been to in Leaside.
Of course.
The Viva Leaside. And met her through her. And she said, "You have to meet my sister. She's a curator at Casa Loma." And I went, "Oh my God, yes, I would love to." So I met her at another show in Yorkville, and then we just kept in contact from there. And she invited me to a show that she had produced about the history of Henry Pellet with his electrical company background. And then I asked her this question: "Is it okay if we record Toronto Mike?" And
she said, "What? Toronto what?"
No, she didn't
Googled
say
the show.
I gave her links to your show and everything,
Okay.
and she came
And she said,
back.
well, Dwight Drummond did it, so he must be okay.
She came back after a while, after talking to the Liberty Entertainment Group people, and next thing you know, we're here.
Okay, so welcome to Toronto Mike, Alessia.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, and we're so happy to have the podcast in at the castle.
Incredible.
So I like to do the, behind the curtain stuff here. So your mic is open for you, and you're a softer speaking person, but right behind you is like where the hot air is blowing in here. So that's why when you're done talking, I'm going to mute you because that mic is I can hear the wind blowing through
okay.
it. But this is a castle.
If you want, I could switch my mic with her. I
No,
can bring it over. Okay.
It's the same mic. It's not the mic.
All right.
But Alessia, thank you for letting Toronto Mike record milestone episode 1800 in this wonderful building. How long have you worked in this building?
Yeah, so I've been here for a total of almost 10 years now. I started as an intern, so I kind of worked my way up to the position of curator. I've been studying Sir Henry Pellet and the castle throughout my undergrad up until I got the job here at 2020.
So she knows her stuff.
Oh,
we
definitely.
should keep her sitting there in case you want to unmute and get the...
If you like to, she
You got
can.
something to do for the next hour?
She can Robert Lawson me the whole time.
Like you're busy for the next hour? It's okay if you are.
I have a few things
Okay,
after this.
she's
I'm
got to go.
sorry.
Okay,
Oh,
no,
it's okay.
listen,
Thank you.
we'll carry the weight. J-Ho brought the fun facts and the mind blow. But that
on.
name you dropped, Sir Henry Pellet?
Yes.
We're saying that right?
Yes.
He's the reason this building exists, right?
Yes, so he is the visionary behind it, and essentially he scoured Europe to find the inspiration for his beautiful castle. He built this as a monument to the city, to his ideas of what the city could be, and essentially he wanted the city to be a monument of innovation. So his house was built with all of the modern innovations, electric light at a time where gas lighting was predominant
Right.
in many homes, but not in all homes yet. So
Only in Downton Abbey.
right.
Right.
Okay, so this gentleman, Sir Henry Pellet, which we'll talk about in a moment when we
Yes.
let Alessia go do her work
For sure.
here. Is it his moose I'm looking at? So in this room, the billiard room, I've been staring at this moose. You see the moose here, right, J-Ho?
Yes.
Like, that moose has been here since he was living here?
Not that particular moose.
Oh, a different moose.
We do know that he had a moose. We have historic photos of a moose up on that mantle.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, in 1924, when Sir Henry Pellet ran into some financial troubles, he unfortunately had to auction off the contents of his home. So a lot
Oh,
of
he auctioned off the moose.
yes.
But you got a
yes.
replica moose where the
Exactly.
moose would have been.
Yeah.
And then I asked my first question, J-Ho, to Alessia when I got here setting up. I said, what's the moose's name? And you said there's no name for this moose, right?
We don't know its
Oh.
name.
So then I said, okay, well, that moose, I'm looking at this moose,
I
beautiful
think I
moose.
know.
I said, that moose, that's a sweetheart right there. I said, the name of this moose is Sweetheart Moose. And you like that, right?
I love it. We're going to
So-
keep calling him that.
So I named the moose
Can
in
I
the
suggest
billiard
a name
room.
too?
Yeah, go ahead.
Moose Grumpy.
Oh my God. I feel weak in the knees, J-Ho. Okay, Moose Grumpy is a beloved
She's a
friend of
friend.
Toronto Mike who we're going to see. So I'm going to invite you to something and then we're going to set you free here. But,
But I like yours too.
well, I don't know. We have to get Moose Grumpy's permission
Oh,
to
okay.
just name
Okay.
something after her. But Moose Grumpy and many other great FOTMs will be at my event, which is called TMLX 21. I wish it were taking place at Casa Loma, but it's at the next best thing, which is what I consider the Castle of Mississauga, which is Palma's Kitchen. Okay, so we're going to take over the second floor,
Right on.
and I'm just telling you, Alessia, if you came, you could bring your friends, your family, your neighbors, everybody who shows up at this thing. It's a live recording, just like this. J-Ho's going to be there. You going to wear the hat?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh my God! So
I will for this one.
J-Lo's going to be
Whatever you
wearing the
want.
suit. That's all you need to know. That should be like a main attraction. But everyone who shows up is going to get free meal from Palma Pasta, free beer from Great Lakes Brewery, and there's a gift from Retro Festive. And I won't spoil the gift, but I know you would love this gift you're going to get from Retro Festive. So you should come. I'm serious. November
Absolutely.
29th, noon to 3 p.m.
I'd love to.
Okay.
Cool.
That's
Amazing.
a commitment.
Amazing.
Okay, where's
Great
my
to see you
applause
there.
button here? We got a commitment. Okay, so we're gonna say thank you so much for letting us do this, and we'll probably have to come back for episode 1900. What do you think?
I would love that if everything.
Or maybe a different room. How many rooms?
98 total.
So we can do 98 shows,
A room
each from a
an
different
episode.
room.
Oh,
What do you think
okay.
about that? And then at the end of it, like, oh, well, now we're in the washroom. We're in the bathroom here. We're Sir Henry
We'll end up in the
Pellet.
tunnel and then maybe the stable.
This is where he showered or whatever. Okay, so thank you, Alessia, from
Thank you, guys.
Liberty Group, right?
Is there anything else that you'd want to say
yeah.
about, like, as far as being a curator at the museum? Are you here like 24 hours a day, or
Do you live here?
It feels like I do sometimes, but I love it, and that's why I keep coming back. This place is wonderful, and we're discovering new things about its history every day.
Oh, I love-
We're really doing a lot of
You just discovered the
research.
moose's name.
Exactly, the massive historical discoveries.
Like, do you ever like somebody go into one of these 98 rooms that we haven't been into in a while, and you say, "Oh, look, there's Sir Henry Pellet's razor. He forgot to pack that up when he left."
We actually have found things in the walls. We found alcohol bottles from the workers that actually
wow.
built the castle in the walls when we were doing
Well, I
repair
have news
work.
for you, okay? Great Lakes was only formed in 1987. That
Right.
beer are the current workers hiding their
you know,
alcohol.
you'd probably find a lot of razors in the wall too, because that's what they used to do with razors.
Yeah.
They'd have these little disposals, and you throw them into the wall. So a lot of times they open up walls of old buildings, and there's a pile of razors in there.
Okay, see, I'm learning something here. So, thank you.
Of course, thank you guys.
And
you
I'll,
so
I'll
much.
hopefully catch you after this to thank you further, and then maybe we can access the other 97 rooms. Do you have much time? Do you have, Jeho?
I've got all day if you want.
Have you been in every room, Alessia?
Yes.
All 98 rooms.
Yes, there's a few that are not open to the public.
But you've been
But
inside.
I've been inside them all. I've kind of had
Okay,
to
so of all the
explore.
98 rooms, what is your favorite room?
Oh, that's a tough one because it sometimes changes based on the mood. But right now, currently, the round room is one of my favorite.
Okay, so we have one big question. Why aren't we recording in the round room?
Well,
Why'd you put us in a lesser than room?
This is an absolutely beautiful room. We are in the middle of Blue Blood, so I didn't think that it could get any more luxurious than this.
Okay,
Nice.
she's good at this.
Very good.
This is why you've been here 10 years. Okay, thank you so much. Honestly, thank
I
you.
also want to thank you too, just for arranging for the Casa Loma car collection
Of
to come to
course.
Viva la Leaside, and also this. This is amazing. Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you. We love to bring the collection to the community, and it was really important that we did bring them to Leaside. So with that historical connection with Henry Pellet and Leaside.
Amazing.
Oh my God, we're going to talk Henry Pellet right now. So,
sure.
Alessia, thank you. But quick, do you know a gentleman named Midtown Gord?
Midtown
Do you ever see a guy with a big beard hiding in the bushes at night?
No.
I think that's Midtown Gord. I'm just letting you know he's harmless.
Amazing.
We think,
Good
right,
to know.
Jeho?
Oh yeah.
He's harmless. But if you see
He's
a
a good
guy
guy.
with a big white beard, he's probably listening to Lee Aaron
Oh,
or
yeah.
something like that. He's harmless. He just likes to be around this wonderful, wonderful building.
So if you hear "Still Got That Thing for You" coming
Oh,
down
yeah.
the hall, and it's a dark night, don't be scared. It's just
Don't, yeah,
Gord.
it's just Midtown Gord. Call me and I'll talk him down, okay, if he gets excited here. We love Midtown Gord, but he used to work here, so he's got fond memories of the Casa Loma.
Fabulous.
And I promised I'd shout him out. I just thought I'd let
Oh,
her
for
know.
sure. Yeah, he was here with the Kiwanis Club for 15 years, I think he said.
Wow.
Long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, dedication.
So I should have named the moose Midtown Gord.
Yeah, that's more
Nice.
fitting for sure.
No, Sweetheart Moose. Okay. Thank you, Alessia. We're
Thank you so
going to
much.
Thank you,
kick it
guys.
off here. I'm going to now mute your mic just so you've been warned. You can stick around, of course, but the heat's blowing in there. So now you're muted. Okay. So, Jeho, stay on that mic there because I know I'm eating
All right.
it and you're a bit off there. And you can move it closer if you
Okay,
want. You're comfy?
Am I not coming through too loud?
Okay.
There we go.
I know. So an observation. We're actually live because I got on the Casa Loma, Wi-Fi. That's what Sir Henry Pellet installed back in. I think
was
he did that in
revolu-
1911 or something. He installed the
It was
Wi-Fi here.
revolutionary. He had Wi-Fi
Right.
back then.
So we're talking about Midtown Gord and we're talking about all this stuff and the TMLX and thank you. I just said thank you even though she was, doing hand signals to me. Like,
Oh,
I said,
yeah.
why am I doing that for? But they're observing, of course. So Midtown Gord was 85 to 97, okay?
Oh,
but
wow.
some say his ghost still haunts this place.
I think it might.
Sometimes I hear hands on. I heard it in the washroom when I was just when I got here, and I think that was the ghost of Midtown Gord. But Alessia was the observation by Al Grego is that she has no idea what we're talking about. Do you think she regrets her decision to open the doors of Casa Loma to us?
No, I don't think so. No, she seemed genuinely happy that you're here, and
Yeah.
I think when she found out who you were and what you were doing, and
What did she think
that
when
you're
she
on
found out who I am?
episode 1800, like that's.
She said, "That's great quantity. Now, where's the quality?"
That's a huge milestone, and there is quality.
Did you listen to Mike Stafford and Supriya Dwivedi?
I'm not sure. I
'Cause
haven't
the
asked her
great-
that much.
The great, have you?
I haven't listened to that
Okay,
one. No.
'cause the great 1236 says it might be the best episode of all 1800.
Oh my God, I'll have to listen to it then.
Until this one.
I recently listened to the one about 299 Queen West, the
Oh,
architect.
that was the most recent one.
Yeah,
That was
and
Friday.
that was very interesting for me. And thank you so much for asking the question of I'm sorry, what's the gentleman's name again?
Klein. His name
Eric?
is he's got a Les Klein.
That's it, Les Klein. Sorry.
Be less Klein and more aggressive. What's going on here? Okay. So, again,
This is incredible.
Jeho, you and I were here in the morning of November 17th, and I'm looking at a sweetheart moose, and there's antlers on this thing. This looks like somebody killed some animals here. But where do we begin? Like, can we talk a bit more about this Sir Henry Pellet fellow?
Yes, he was a financier, and he was basically born into a fairly wealthy family. His father and him eventually got into business together to become Pellet and Pellet. They had
So creative.
numerous investments in Canadian Pacific Railway, and eventually in airplanes even. One of the connections that Alicia was talking about was he was actually a heavy investor in the Canadian Airplanes Limited Company, which at the time he joined was Curtis Aviation of Canada. And they basically, during World War I, built all the training planes for the guys that were learning how to fly out of camps like Leaside. So there was a definite connection there. Also, him doing Pellet doing sham battles in Leaside. So
Like, he must have made some coin.
he definitely made coins. He was one of the first multi-millionaires
He's got, like,
in the area.
He's got YYZ Gord kind of money.
Yes,
You know?
tons of money. He could.
He could have multiple Toms.
He is a mover and a shaker. Yes.
So 'cause the only reason we know he must have a lot of money, because at some point, and you'll tell me when, but I think it might be around like 1911 or so.
Yes.
Like, when does he have the idea, I'm going to build a house on a hill?
Well, he actually had that idea very early on. He, as a young man, he was very involved in the military, wanted to, and also went on a travel of the world and saw all these castles across the world, and started dreaming about having his own, and eventually coming up with schemes of ways to get that money to buy that and make that happen.
I will pepper you with ridiculous questions along the way, but one is, so why were there no castles in Toronto? Like, we have such a European influence, and castles are a dime a dozen over there. Anyone who's taken a trip to Europe has seen castles.
Well, here there was a lot more of a conservative angle on everything. It seems like when he did build this, a lot of people thought, well, that's the most gaudy thing in the world, and he's just showing off and that sort of thing.
Well, it is. It's very show-offy.
He kind of wanted to show off, though. He said he was basically thinking, there's not a place like that in Toronto where we could host a king or a queen that would be appropriate enough, and that sort of, that and a few other things spurred him on to build this.
Oh, very interesting. Now, some said at the time, some people in the early 1900s said that the Casa Loma, that house on the hill, this is the Cybertruck of homes in this city.
A little bit, yeah. Some people,
like, I heard that, I read that.
Some people also found it fascinating, but yes, it's as far as architecture critics go, it was designed by E.J. Lennox, who also made Old City Hall and about 70 buildings around Toronto. He's very well known for that. But when it came to this building, Pellet's influence really pushed E.J. Lennox to do some different things that he wouldn't necessarily do, and it became a bit of a, not a laughingstock, but just sort of a concern among architecture critics, like, hey, that doesn't go with that style and this doesn't go with that. But that's the thing. Pellet didn't care. He just wanted to be flamboyant and have that special place where he could host people.
I jokingly called it the Cybertruck, but really it's like the Homer.
Yeah, a little bit of a Homer, yeah.
It's like, okay, I want this, and then I want, that thing on your antenna that tells you where your car is in the parking lot.
It's got to have fins. It has to have fins.
Right, they all need that. So just to recap here, you got this rich guy who's kind of got he's got high thoughts of himself, that he thinks, hey, I should live in a castle, even though we don't have castles in the city.
Well, he wanted to live here, but he, from a lot of the accounts that I'm reading, he actually wanted this more of a show place eventually to be for the Queen's own rifles. But
it was personal residence, right? The plan was, 98 rooms, he builds this thing, we're in it right now.
Yep.
It's where he's going to live.
Oh, yeah, he lived here for approximately 10 years with his wife. And but eventually financial things would
we're gonna get into that, of course. Hubris and all that.
But yes, he did want to live here, and he lived here for that many years and had a life here. So
okay, and you mentioned E.J. Lennox, and of course anyone who listens to Jeremy Hopkin on Toronto Mike.
EJ gets in there a lot.
He gets in there a lot, but most recently, Old City Hall. That was, of course, as you mentioned, he was the architect behind Toronto's Old City Hall.
Yes.
And the building of this building we're in right now, Jeho, 1911 to 1914. Do you ever think, like, because, you pass by it on a bike or whatever, and you think, when was that built? Do you think most Torontonians would bet this was built well before 1911?
Yes, they probably would, just because of the style of it. It does look like
1911? I think my grandparents were around.
A medieval castle. This is very medieval styled, and they went to great lengths to actually bring stones here from Europe, bring craftsmen here from Europe to actually carve a lot of the wood that you see in this place. The oak room alone took about 3 years to carve, with 3 craftsmen working at it. Pretty regularly.
I can't imagine what it cost to build this thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. It was, I do have the numbers somewhere. It was
3.5 million.
Yes.
and do you know, with an inflation do I need to assign this to somebody in the live stream?
Oh, I did an inflation calculator on this, but I forget what it was now. But it is like 20 million now, at least.
Okay, well, I'm going to, a few fun facts, and then you're going to dive back into the history. But 64,700 square feet. Mm-hmm. That's the side of what was built as a personal residence, okay?
Yes.
Who does he think he is, Drake?
Well, he was, with the Queen's own rifles, he was very much an entertainer.
So he was the Drake of his time.
He was a bit of a Drake, and he wanted everything to be on his property. So he hosted everyone from the military to... oh God! He had involvement in the Boy Scouts and a bunch of other groups that would come here and party and have have a great time.
Okay, I mean, he built this to have an elevator. Remember, we're in 1911, right? So these are great luxuries here.
The elevator was a little bit more for his ailing wife. She wasn't really getting around too much, so I think.
Way to make me feel bad for. Okay.
Originally, that was put in, I think, to support her because she passed away in her 60s, and then
probably because it was so drafty in here.
Maybe.
Right? She got pneumonia.
Yeah, and also it wasn't quite finished yet, too. He started running out of money and didn't really finish the 3rd floor. Didn't finish a lot of the things that were in here that he wanted to do, including a pool in one of the areas. So it was sort of a half-finished Xanadu on the hill.
So the pool never got built?
I don't believe it got built. No.
Okay, what about I always read about the bowling lanes. Like, that never got built, right?
I think the bowling lanes may have gotten built, but I'm not sure to what extent they were built.
But if they were built, we'll see them because after we record, we'll tell the listenership, we're going to record this.
I haven't been here for very many years, so.
But we're going to, I want to hit up as many of these 98 rooms as I can. We'll take some photos. And if there's a bowling, I want to bowl.
Okay.
Well, Nixon put the bowling alley at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, right?
Oh, incredible.
I'm sure.
Has it been torn down yet?
I'm sure the current guy.
It wasn't in the
What's the
wing.
most gaudy thing you can? Maybe he's got like a parking spot there for his Cybertruck.
Oh, maybe.
Jeez. Okay. A lot of Cybertruck jobs. Maybe because I saw one on my bike ride here. I saw a Cybertruck and it got me all riled up here. Okay.
Wow.
When you're on a bike, you don't want to see a Cybertruck beside you. For some reason, you just assume they're going to run you over.
Well, they look very sharp, and they might cut you, too.
And they don't look like they have good sight lines. Like, they don't look like they'll even... They don't care to see you. Otherwise, they wouldn't be driving that thing.
I'm sure it has a lot of cameras in there that make up for that, possibly. I've never been in one.
You have to rely on that tech to work. I don't like this at all. Okay, so... This... also, World War I. We should shout out World War I. Mm-hmm. Okay, kind of interrupts things as he's, because we're building this thing's being built between 1911 and 1914. They had almost 300 people working on it.
Yes, and that's sort of one of the big reasons he starts to have his downfall. He has a lot of investments in companies that the government eventually seizes to put towards war work, including the Canadian Airplanes Limited that came out of his hands. Also, he had a private hold on the electricity in the city. Led by Adam Beck, there was sort of a rebellion against him to wrestle that from his power and make power public and make Toronto Hydro public. So a lot of those things took a lot of money out of his hands. And and the upkeep on this place started to creep in, and eventually that led to bad things happening.
So Adam Beck,
yes, the
quote I took from him is, hydropower, here's the quote, should be as free as air. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I like this guy's thoughts.
It reminds me quite a bit of that movie Chinatown, because of...
and we talked about The Shining earlier.
Yes, and The Shining as well.
Yeah.
But in Chinatown, there's a lot of Jack Nicholson creeping in today. In Chinatown, you have the guy who's corrupt, and he's partnered with another gentleman who's rich who wants the power to be free. And it eventually leads to him getting killed because he goes against the plans of what the father of that of the lady in that wants to do.
Right. So and that's why Snap wrote the song "I've Got the Power." Okay. Maybe not.
I love that song.
Okay, but also we should shout out Adam Beck. In addition to believing that hydro should be free as air.
There's a nice statue of him on University Avenue too.
That's who that is.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Right by
I know
Queen.
exactly what you're talking about, but I never knew who the heck that was.
The public liked him so much for making power free and wrestling power from pellet and other people that he got a statue.
Well, I like him too because he wanted to tax the rich. Okay, I like this idea.
Yes.
What if we tax the rich?
At least appropriately tax them. That would
Well,
be that would work at least.
Even more so.
Yeah.
Right. Even more so. Okay. Because what happened was because he was into heavier taxation on the rich, Casa Loma's property taxes. So this is still, I guess, when Sir Henry Pellet is living here. Obviously,
Yes.
with it went from it was $600 a year, and then all of a sudden it ballooned to 1,000 English pounds a year.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know what the conversion was then, but that's like at least more than double, I would guess.
Definitely.
So-
way more than double.
He can't afford to keep up this monstrosity he built.
Yeah. It consumed tons of coal a day to keep it heated, and the electricity and just electricity was cheaper at the time, but just everything, just the upkeep, it started to force him to actually start little auctions even before he was out of here of some of the artworks and things he'd collected.
And moose heads.
And moose heads as well.
But we don't drink moose head on this show. We drink Great Lakes.
That's true.
Okay.
GLD.
So if you're following along at home, you got although I need to open his books. How did he get that rich? Because he's a rifleman and
Well, yeah, he started with he was born in Kingston,
Yeah.
a very military town. Started with the Queen's Own Rifles as a rifleman.
Yeah, that doesn't make you rich.
It was semi a reservist, but that was sort of more of his passion. It wasn't really
like a
what
hobby.
made him money. He was a financier and also basically got into a little bit of everything, spreading money around. He was also very involved with the Home Bank of Canada. He had a lot of some friends in there. And
because we're talking, if it's $3.5 million to build your home in 1911,
yes.
because that's a lot of money today, J-Ho.
Oh, for sure. He started investing in some risky things that made him a lot of money in the end. He really banked on the Canadian Pacific Railway, being able to bring immigrants to places. He did a lot of smart investments, but that also led to a downfall in his investments. Those ones that did make him a lot of money then, when the war came around, they turned on him. And so he started to try to get into real estate and a few other failed ventures, but nothing would keep it up. So eventually he and his wife moved to their summer home and stayed there for a while. But he kept trying to make a go of this place, and he started a consortium and tried to start getting this made as a hotel and make some money off of it that
So
way.
he would
it would
own this
support
as a
itself.
luxury hotel.
So he would own it as a luxury hotel, and that plan didn't work. So eventually some American consortiums came into the picture, and they started to try to make a go of this as a hotel as well in the 1920s. But a little thing came along, the Great Depression, and just dashed those plans completely.
And your suit is from this era.
It's not from the era, but I basically custom made this.
Well, I mean, it's meant to be
it's
a replica from the era.
It's meant to be a replica of that hotel heyday, I guess, the 1920s.
Okay.
And so, wear the boater hat and all that.
Okay, so we have a Pellet no longer able to afford many a Torontonian, I think, can relate to this on a smaller scale, right?
Oh, I can relate to it right now.
Yeah, like can I afford to live in this home that I own? Like I think a lot of Torontonians, particularly now with, have you seen the price of bread and milk?
Oh, yes. It's just, me too. Meat has gone up a lot.
Oh.
Speaking of the moose up there.
Okay, well, have you ever had moose meat?
I have had a little bit. My grandfather used to hunt up on Manitoulin Island, and one day he broke it out and said, "Here it is." And we tried it. It was very gamey. And I think we found some buckshot along the way, too, in the meat. But,
Okay, but when you're shooting on Manitoulin Island, make sure you don't hit Steve Paikin.
No.
Okay.
He's up there, too? Yeah.
He's there quite a bit,
Oh,
especially
wow.
in the summer. He's there quite a bit. And just be careful. Just maybe say something like, Oski wee wee. And then if he sort of responds, you'll know, okay, that's not a moose. That's Steve Paikin. Okay.
All right.
So Pellet can't afford his own home.
Yes.
And what a home. We're going to get into this in a moment here. And you're going to drop fun facts and mind blows as they hit your head,
For
right?
sure,
Because one
yes.
fun fact we didn't drop yet is, do you know what Casa Loma means?
Hill house.
Yeah.
Or
So it's
house
just
on the hill.
House on a hill translates into Casa Loma.
Yeah.
Thank you for not calling it House on a Hill, because Casa Loma is a much cooler name.
And apparently the name came even before he was here. And the landowner before him, one of the pieces of land he bought like 25 parcels of land to make this up. They originally called this area Casa Loma, so he liked it and gave the building its name. And I bring it up probably too often, but we're right on the ridge of the old, right after the glaciers receded from here. This was the ridge of Lake Iroquois. So before Lake Ontario, which is way down there, was here, right after the glaciers melted, the lake was much higher, and this was the shore. So if you dig in the ground in a lot of this area, you'll probably find tons of shore sand.
So I could have kayaked here.
You could have kayaked here if we were thousands and thousands of years ago, but now you're just way up a hill.
Now I'm biking here.
From way down at the bottom of the lake down there.
Okay, well, here's a fun fact too, but it's not a fun fact. It's a sad fact that he couldn't afford his house, so he had to move out of Casa Loma, and he lived with his chauffeur. Do you know this fact?
Yes, and at that time too, it was his former chauffeur who took him in because he did feel bad after his money was lost and his second wife had passed away around 1929. He just had a lot of bad things happen to him, and this chauffeur took him in as a good person does, and he lived out the rest of his life pretty much living in this chauffeur's house.
Yeah, so he moved in.
And it was in Mimico, I think.
Well, that's pretty much where you go to die, right? Shout out to Ridley Funeral Home. It's right next door in New Toronto.
There you go.
Ridley Funeral Home, 1921 is when it wasn't called Ridley Funeral Home.
Yes.
But the doors open in 1921, and this chap, he dies in 1939.
Yes.
He might have been buried there because he's in Mimico.
He is in Forest Lawn Cemetery.
Yeah, but that's a cemetery. But where's the funeral? I don't mean buried there.
Well, the funeral, there was a grand procession all through Toronto, and a lot of people lined the streets.
A young Brad Jones probably led that procession.
Maybe, yes. Okay. So they gave him a big send-off. He was buried with full military honors through his involvement with the military. He was also, because of his nature, he was very giving with his money that he did have, and supported the Queen's Own Rifles, brought them over to Europe to perform in a lot of games over there. So when he passed away, he got the full military honors and got that procession, and it was big news down the streets of Toronto. I
think there's a movie here. Maybe Stu Stone can make it, but there's a movie here about the rich guy who sees these castles in Europe and says, "I want to do that in Toronto," and he builds at great expense. Casa Loma. 98 rooms. As everybody in Toronto knows this, we're going to take some pictures. We're going to take some video. He builds this thing, can't afford to keep it up. At some point, after he auctions off everything, including the moose head, so he could try to raise some money to keep this thing, he basically can't even afford the taxes anymore. And the city takes control of this thing.
Yes, right? In 1933, they finally seized this for back taxes.
But this whole idea, just to finish this thought, then I want to hear what happens then. But the idea of I'm unhoused. I lived in that castle on a hill, that beautiful castle, Casa Loma. I lived there. Yes. In one of those 98 rooms I slept. Okay? That's a lot of rooms, man. Look at that. Okay. But, dear former chauffeur, may I live with you? And then he lives with this chauffeur until he dies in 1939. That's a much smaller property, living with the chauffeur. That's kind of a sweet movie moment there where the chauffeur opens his doors and says, "Hey, boss,
jeez,
you can barger my couch." Okay, I think that's what he said.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so city takes over this beautiful building.
Yeah, and for a while it sits kind of vacant, and let's see, and actually it starts to fall into disrepair as well. And a lot of people get concerned. The city actually considers even tearing it down because it's now costing them the money. And eventually there's, I forget the lady's name, but she was with, I think, CFRB. She was collecting stories about ghosts and actually stayed here at Casa Loma for a little bit and then went on the radio and sort of...
Is it Betty?
Oh,
there's a famous CFRB radio woman named Betty Kennedy. I want to say
it wasn't Betty.
Betty Kennedy.
Let me just.
You know who would know the answer? Is 1236 on the live stream, because he was listening to the radio back in the 40s, and he would remember this on CFRB.
Maybe we can bring Would Gord maybe come in?
Oh, you know what? Gord's.
Oh, I'm
I think
sorry.
Gord haunts every room in this house, and I'm pretty sure he's here now.
Here we go. It was Claire Wallace who
Claire Wallace.
who brought to light that there was problems at Casa Loma, and eventually, by 1937, the Kiwanis Club strikes a deal with the city to manage this place as an event space, and it just takes off, and that lasts for decades.
Okay, that's like literally for the next 74 years, the Kiwanis Club, which is, to tell people who don't know, what was the Kiwanis Club?
Well, Kiwanis clubs used to be pretty much in every town. When your government couldn't really, the government of your small town couldn't afford to do certain things, these guys would come in and raise funds and throw events and try to get the towns or cities things that they needed. So Toronto, I guess, is a little past that point where it's got some money to work with and doing things on its own. So it doesn't quite, I guess, need the Kiwanis as much as before, but they still exist in a lot of neighborhoods and still do a lot of good work.
Well, aren't you glad we didn't demolish this building? Did you put this on your list of buildings we almost demolished but saved?
I didn't, because at the time I didn't really know that this was on the cusp of possibly being demolished. I found out in later research.
So Toronto, right?
It's so Toronto. It seems like with everything, there's a fight to keep anything like this around, and it's just a miracle that it's kind of still here, and in its form too, because things happened in its past that really should have modified what it became. Like when the hotel was here, they actually wanted to do, I think, a 10-story building addition on the side and make it look more like a grand chateau, almost like the old Canadian Pacific hotels were across Canada.
Sure. And
turn it into that, so it would be more economically viable, have a lot more people staying here, so it would fuel that.
This could be like Chateau Laurier.
Yes, it's very much in that kind of style, isn't it? Yeah. And even with some of them, they're having some problems even now with wanting to put additions on those, and everyone who's historically minded wanting to stop it because they see the addition, they go, that doesn't fit in with the character of that. But
well, it's like the ROM.
Yes, the Chin Crystal. It's a very stark contrast to the old way. But there's not a lot of people doing this kind of work here anymore, so it takes some very specialized tools to even maintain this kind of a building.
Now, I want to go back to World War II.
Oh, yes.
Like, did you bring the heat with regards to what was happening in this building during World War II?
I definitely did bring some heat with that. During World War II, it was it was a Kiwanis, and there was a lot of events going on here, including big bands playing here over the years. A lot of big bands came through here, so you'd hear people playing Glenn Miller stuff here. Well, deep under their feet, after World War II started, there was people working away in secret, and on this project that was called Magic, or it was like M, and
it's like James Bond or something.
It's almost James Bondish, and actually, they think that this place here, M, where they made basically fake documents so that spies could go over to Germany and do espionage from Canada and from the States. So over here they made replica passports, clothing that they imported from Europe, but made them into clothing that wouldn't look out of place over there. So they would send agents or operatives over there. So this kind of inspired that guy in James Bond, Q. So M here was sort of like the gadget laboratory.
Yeah.
And the gadgets that you see in James Bond, this inspired a lot of that, what happened in that movie, in those movies.
And maybe even Batman.
Maybe even, yeah.
You know
actually,
what I mean?
Batman's
Come
got
on.
a lot of those gadgets too. Yeah.
Okay, no. Is it
Where
fair
does
to
he get
say
those wonderful toys?
Yeah. Where does he? Another Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
That's 3. Oh, seriously.
Jack's on my brain because there's a bar right over there, and I see him at the bar right now.
Because it looks like The Shining, but that's 3 Jack Nicholson movies you've referenced in this very short period of time.
I got 2 Jakes in there somehow. How do I get that?
Where nobody watched that one. Okay, that's the sequel to Chinatown, right?
I watched it. There was actually supposed to be a 3rd one too, but it never got produced. But they were going with a theme of water, power, and I forget what the 3rd one was. Maybe transport, and the transport one never was made. But
you see, that's also a fun.
He's
fact
still alive.
right there.
Maybe they can make a 3rd one.
Well, I saw him at that. They telecast the 50th anniversary of Saturday Night Live. He was in attendance.
Oh,
so that's the last
right.
time I saw him. I don't know if he's still going to Laker games or not. I don't know.
And maybe I'm not sure.
Where does he get that movie? Okay, we're similar vintage.
Oh,
I've
for
got
sure.
a few on you, but summer of '89, right? the promotion, I'm sorry, so I'm doing math in my head. I guess I'm 15, but the promotion behind Batman, the 1989 Tim Burton movie with Jack Nicholson as the Joker. Honestly, it worked so well on me. Like, it was like, this is the most important thing in the history of mankind.
Same here. That back then I didn't really have money to buy videos, and I bugged my parents so much to get one. It was like the movie you had to go see. It was very, I guess, revolutionary with superhero movies, because there wasn't really many made because they didn't have the budget to make it look
let's
good.
think about it. There was Howard the Duck. No, he's a comic book movie, I suppose. But you're right. There weren't. Is there Darkman?
There was Darkman, which actually had filming here in Casa Loma. There's some scenes in Darkman that were filmed.
Oh my goodness, that was unrehearsed, everybody. But we're gonna have more moments like that. So I'm gonna basically set you free in a moment to go nuts. We're almost done here. But I was just thinking about the Bat Dance video with Prince, and how much music, seemingly, because that was peak much music time for me, I think. I think they played that video for Bat Dance every half hour.
Oh yes, they must have. Yep.
And I have
was
memorized
on all the time.
all the sound clips in there. Like, I have them all memorized in order from the Bat Dance. And where is your Batman? But you just said, where does he get those wonderful toys?
This town needs an enema.
This town needs an enema. Okay, we digress here. No Batman was filmed at this Casa Loma, right?
I don't think so, but you never know.
But
There could be
X-Men.
little scenes that they filled in here. X-Men was definitely filmed here. I think a couple of them were. The main hallway down there is a big feature of it. You see Wolverine running down that quite a bit in the first X-Men. And this plays a big part as the X-Mansion in that movie.
I feel like
we talked about that in one of our old episodes.
So I want to let the listenership know, J-Ho, who I met at a TMLX event at Palma's Kitchen.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, this guy in a weird suit and hat comes on the mic, because that's the thing. I don't know if I was clear about this off the top with Alicia, but it's optional. But if you do attend TMLX 21, you are invited to pop on a mic and say hello, or we can catch up, see who you are, like, let's get to know you a bit. And you popped on the mic, we got to know you. Next thing you know it, you're in my basement for an episode of Toronto Mic, and I'm like, why don't you come over every quarter? And that's been going super well. Like, I've learned so much from these deep dives. We did Sunnyside.
Yeah.
We did Old City Hall.
Yep.
We did buildings that should have been destroyed but weren't. We did buildings that were destroyed but shouldn't have been. Like, we've been doing that, and it's exciting that here we are for milestone 1800, doing a deep dive into the history of Casa Loma.
I'm still in disbelief that I'm doing this with you, but it's just so cool. Thank you so much.
Let me pinch you. Let me pinch you. Oh, shout out to Bare Naked Ladies. Pinch me. But now, the bar's been raised. Like, I don't know if I want to do a episode of J-Ho in the basement studio. Like, I'm going to be like, where do we go next?
I don't know. One thing I was thinking of, since Old City Hall is sort of up for having different things happening at it, maybe we could get in there.
Okay.
I'll poke around and ask Olivia Chow and some people and see.
And
see
if
what's
anybody,
going on.
let's do it. And let's make Olivia an FOTM. She's been holding out. But let us open this up to listenership. If you have an idea for where you want us to record the next J-Ho episode, so that'll be, if my math is correct, it'll be sometime between like January and March 2026. Mike at torontomike.com. Just send me a note and say, hey, why don't you guys do this or that? Or maybe you are, somebody, or you're responsible for a historic building in Toronto that would open their doors. I kind of like the idea of Masonic Temple.
Oh, that would be amazing. Yes, for sure.
As you know, I have
Yes.
moderated a panel discussion in the Red Room. And, this new fad I was reading about in the Star is everybody and their grandmother is getting red light therapy. Have you heard this?
No, I haven't.
Okay,
no.
so this is
red light.
I mean, guys like us clue in pretty late, but it's the biggest thing. Like, you can't go into a Canadian Tire right now without them trying to sell you some kind of a red light therapy mask
wow.
or something like that. But I was wondering,
It's like a horror movie.
if we recorded in the Red Room when it was in red mode, and we talked about the history of that building and everything, it might be good for us. Like, our wrinkles might disappear.
That would be incredible.
So World War II.
Yes.
What about? Well, I wanted to ask you
there's
about
some more secret stuff that was
because
going on.
there's the S word. I'm wondering if you'll get to.
Yes. Well, over in England, a lot of their factories producing things that they were creating were being bombed. So Canada was a safe haven for a lot of people, a lot of operations, and one of the things they brought here was sonar. And what was it actually called? There's a name or an anagram for it, ASDIC, and it was used for detecting German U-boats. This and radar. Radar was heavily developed here in it was like Scarborough, Leaside, and in secret during World War II. And the one that was being developed here, it was all being done as people partied here. They didn't shut the place down. They had it down in the tunnels and over in the stables just over there through the window. They were developing...
Wait, there's tunnels? I feel like we haven't really discussed these tunnels.
There is one tunnel. There's an 800-foot tunnel that goes from Casa Loma under Walmer Road to the stables that are over there, and also the it's called the Hunting Lodge. That's actually the house where Henry Pellet and his wife lived while they were building Casa Loma. E.J. Lennox built that in the stables kind of first, I believe, and then this came afterwards.
You know, are we able to access these tunnels, or is that out of bounds?
I don't believe it's out of bounds. They usually have a lot of these things
Would that
accessible
tunnel
now that
get me
never
to New
used to be.
Toronto? Like, can I
No,
buy
no, that won't go that far.
my personal tunnel from Casa Loma to the TMDS
That would be
studio
so
here?
cool.
So we're basically here in the stables here, at least a facility for the production of sonar.
Yes, yeah. They created it over here, did testing over here and in different places in Toronto, and then brought it over to Europe to fight the good fight and, help defeat the Axis powers over there.
You want a fun fact of how they kept this a secret at the Casa Loma? Do you know how they kept it a secret?
I do know, but if you want to drop that fun fact, go ahead.
I don't know. People want to hear it in your voice, I feel. You're the authority.
They did it in a very technological way by putting a sign up saying that there was repairs going on.
So, okay, remember when somebody broke into, was it 10 Downing Street? Whatever, not 10 Downing Street. Where Sussex Drive?
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to remember, where did our PM? They doesn't live there anymore. I guess they have some repairs to do or something like that.
Uh-huh.
But do you remember when somebody broke in and the way that Eileen Chrétien thwarted this potential assassination attempt was to lock the door or something? Then she just locked the door.
Oh, really?
Or did she have
I don't
Kentucky
remember.
Fried Chicken knife or something?
I don't remember all the details of that one.
Well, that's so Canadian, right? Because the way that they kept people from knowing what was happening here at Casa Loma during World War II, when the stables were secretly being used for the production of sonar, is they put a sign on the door, and the sign read, "Under repairs."
Yeah.
And that sign kept everybody out of the stables, and nobody knew what we were doing here.
Yeah, and if they saw anybody moving
Under
around in there...
repairs, J-Ho.
Yeah, if anyone saw them moving around in there, they just thought, oh, that's just the workers, doing stuff.
Yeah,
but,
comings and goings of workers.
yeah, so...
That's unbelievable. Okay.
I guess people are a little more simpler back then, and they just agreed with that and didn't really investigate too much.
Well, that ASDIC for the U-boat detection.
Yes.
I have news for you, though. Jack Nicholson was not in Das Boot.
Oh, I'm
But
sorry.
if Jack Nicholson were in Das Boot, I would shut this down right now. Like, I think I would just
Was he even
collapse.
in the SCTV version? No, I guess he wasn't.
No, Jack
That was a
Nicholson
good one, too.
wasn't in that at all here. Okay, so this Kiwanis, how do you say it again? Kiwanis?
Yeah, Kiwanis, yes.
So Kiwanis is going to manage Casa Loma for 74 years. So
Yeah.
during the, and again, at some point I will shut up, J-Ho, so you can tell us the stuff you brought, because you can also play that. Like,
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to get that on the mic.
We're not the CBC, because so what I'm saying is this can be like, we can improvise like a
Okay.
jazz musician on the floor. 'Cause
just,
you
tell
brought
me what
this
you wanna do.
phonograph player. What is that? I know it's a record player, but
Yeah, it's an RCA Victor. Well, by then it was RCA Victor, I guess. Victrola, portable Victrola. So you can play 78 records on this. This is in the days before vinyl, when they actually coated this with shellac, and it's a much more durable record, but also brittle. So.
And that record is by?
This one that I have loaded up is by Gene Goldcat, who was a big band leader during the 1920s and even before, and then eventually got into big band management. And two of the bands he managed, there was one called the Blue Orchestra, I believe, but there was also one called the Orange Blossoms. And so I brought one of his band's records there to play, but I also brought a couple records of the band that the Orange Blossoms eventually evolved into, which was Glenn Gray and the Casa Loma Orchestra. During 1927 and through 28, they were Detroit bands, but they were commissioned to come here when it was becoming a hotel to play and provide entertainment for the people that were here, dining, dancing, whatever. And so I brought a record by the original band, but also some by the Glenn Gray Orchestra. They liked the name so much that eventually it became Goldcat's Casa Loma Orchestra, but eventually Gene Goldcat sort of parted ways with them, and then they took the name on themselves. And because they didn't want them calling the lead singer Casa Loma anymore, they basically put Glenn Gray's name on the front, so they would approach him and talk to him about the band.
And keen listeners of the J-Ho appearances on Toronto Mike will remember at some point we talked about haunted ghosts.
Yes, yes.
Because this, and maybe this is a good segue for you to talk about any ghosts we have here with us today, besides the ghost of Midtown Gord, who might be in this room right now. Gord, what are you doing? So, but I'll play a bit of it now, but do you remember I played this song right here? Does this ring a bell for you?
Yes, that's the house is haunted by the echoes of your last goodbye. And I think this is actually by Glenn Gray and his orchestra.
Yeah, this is by what they called, I guess they rebranded as the Casa Loma Orchestra.
Yeah, Glenn Gray and the Casa Loma Orchestra, but for a while they were just the Casa Loma Orchestra.
Right,
yeah.
Because those orange blossoms you were referencing, they dug it here.
They liked it so much here. Glenn Gray, even just before he passed, he reminisced about this place and said it was one of the best places he played. So that was one of the reasons why they rebranded as the Casa Loma Orchestra.
Well, speaking of rebranding, right, so when the Kiwanis Club of West Toronto takes over Casa Loma, I think we're in 1937 here.
Yes, 1937.
They actually start to rebrand. They become the Kiwanis Club of Casa Loma, the KCCL.
Yes, yeah.
No Kim Clark champness involved, right? The
No.
KCCL. And they, like I said, 74 years, okay? That's a long time. That's like Peter Gross's age. That's how long that is, okay?
This brochure I brought that I was showing Alicia is actually from that year. The very first year that Casa Loma was going.
See this?
So it's got a nice little...
Oh, I spilled coffee on it. Is that okay? So is this from 1937?
Yeah, this is when they started to really popularize this as a destination. And eventually, you'd see Casa Loma on almost every brochure about Toronto because this is one of the main attractions that people wanted to see back in the day.
Here's an ad for Eden's on College Street.
Yeah, that's now... the room there is now the Carlu. You can go in go there today.
This is incredible that you are doing this. I want to give kudos to you, J-Hope, that you are actively archiving this city's history, and I appreciate what you're doing, man.
Thank you so much. I love to have some of the original pieces that I can consult, and I'm actually going to scan a bunch of these things I brought today and send it to Alicia because she hasn't seen a couple of these.
Our mayor was WMD Robbins. And it says, greetings from the city of Toronto. We join in extending a very cordial welcome to all visitors to Casa Loma, Canada's famous castle, which intrigues everyone by its old world grandeur and medieval atmosphere. May your stay in Toronto be a most enjoyable one, and on your return home, may your minds be happy in the thought that by your visit to Casa Loma, you have contributed somewhat to helping to restore to normal health and activity many of the underprivileged, crippled children of this city, whose interest and welfare is the sole reason for this interesting venture by the Kiwanis Club of West Toronto. So I mentioned that Kiwanis Club of West Toronto rebranded into the Kiwanis Club of Casa Loma and operates this castle we're in right now, J-Ho, for 74 years. That brings us to 2011, which, if I'm correct, was like a couple of years ago.
Not very long ago at all.
Wait,
to be.
You're telling me 2011 was not a couple of years
To
ago?
my kids, that's ancient history, though.
Okay, I actually had a couple of kids in 2011, but seems like it was only yesterday. But my point is that KCCL, management of Casa Loma, takes us to fairly recent history.
Yes, and Midtown Gord's time here, too. He was here for about 15 years doing that. And then, by that time, the city of Toronto takes hold of it again. I'm not sure why, but they wanted to, I guess, go with different management. So eventually, they strike a contract up with Liberty Group, the Liberty Entertainment Group. They have a number of...
2014.
2014, yeah. So there's about 3 years there where they were sort of up in the air what they were going to do. But Liberty Group is pretty well known. They have the Liberty Grand Building downtown and a bunch of other venues now. But the Liberty Grand Building is in the old government's building down at the CNE.
And the Liberty Group, that's where Alicia works for the Liberty Group. They spent in pretty, although I was going to say modern money, but I feel like $7.4 million in 2014 would be a lot more today. Doesn't it feel like 2014, the inflation since 2014, it's like when we used to talk about what things cost in the 1910s or something, and we're like, oh, we have to consider the inflation. Yes. It just feels like it would be dramatically more today.
It is dramatically more today. I would agree with you.
But they spent $7.4 million to upgrade Casa Loma
Yes.
and to pretty much how we see it today, right?
Yes, and a lot of the upgrades that they have done, anywhere that they did have to change something historic, they actually archived a lot of those materials so they can put them back at any time when they want to. And a lot of the modifications that were done, they're reversible and they don't really impact the heritage of the place.
Okay. So, do you want to? I don't want to leave any mind blows and fun facts about the history of this building on the cutting room floor here. Like, if there is any, now's a good time, and then maybe we talk about like what it looks like today. Here we are in the building, and you and I are just gonna I just think we're gonna. What's that scene from The Simpsons when Mr. Burns and Smithers, they just run in a mansion. They just run from room to room or whatever. I feel like we're just going to run rampant in this old castle. But
I think we should. It's going to be fun.
I'm playing a song called Smoke Rings. It is by the aforementioned Glenn Gray and the Casa Loma Orchestra.
Nice.
Gets us in the mood here. 1800, J-Ho.
Yeah, it's a big milestone. Holy.
They said it
I
couldn't
can't believe
be
you're
done.
here already.
You know what's funny to me? So I'm leaning in on the fact this is our 1800th celebration live from Casa Loma, but we would have done this if it was 1801 or 1799. You know what I mean? It's just a wild happenstance. It turned into 1800.
I think so. It's just things just lined up, and getting into the 1800s, you kind of think 19th century, and yeah.
Well, this is also when I was looking in. Okay, what year does Sir Henry Pellet build this thing? And I'm thinking 1800. I'm thinking it's in the 1800s, and then I find out it's between 1911 and 1914, and I'm like, I can almost remember 1911 and 1914. You know what I mean? It feels like that's too recent for this thing to be built.
It is, and also it's kind of a strange time to be built too, with resources being funneled to the war effort, that they could even pull this off at that time.
It's a miracle.
Yeah, it definitely
even
is.
the stone alone, it's a big place, and it's all this beautiful old stone.
Yes, for sure. There's a lot of concrete in the construction too. There is some modernity with that as well. It will prevent a lot of the fires that could have happened if this was a traditional castle.
So you said we were going to be in the oak room, right?
Yes, I thought we were going to be in the oak room.
So what
originally.
happened? Why am I in the billiard room?
I don't know. I guess things changed in the operation, so they had to
She
relocate
said something
us here.
about how today happens to be the day that they're putting up all the Christmas stuff.
Oh, right. They have
So
the big Christmas
I think
event.
there's workers putting up the I think they do a big Christmas.
It's a very active place compared to what it was when we were kids coming here on school trips. They do quite a bit of events, concerts out in the yard. Also in here too, they have they just stopped their Halloween events, which they have scare rooms, like you go down the tunnels in there and then people jump out at you. But for Christmas, they put on a very big production as well.
I heard about these escape rooms because my wife looked into doing it maybe yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
These escape rooms is a big deal at Casa Loma today.
Yeah,
so we're going to talk about Casa Loma today. I'm just going to really rapid fire shout out some of the rooms. I don't know if I'll shout out 098 real quick.
Oh, yeah.
We're on the main floor, right? So we came in and we didn't have to climb any stairs, and we got here. We're in the billiards room. Also on this main floor is the conservatory, the dining room, the great hall, the library. We got to get a picture in that library.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they have old Archie Andrews comics in there?
There's got to be some.
Maybe Casper. What about Richie Rich? She's probably in there somewhere. Okay, the Oak Room where we were almost going to record, Peacock Alley, Sir Henry's study, serving room, and smoking room. That's what we have on the main floor.
Right on. The Peacock Alley, that's actually the hallway we walked down to get here. It's the sort of the spine of the whole building.
Can I tell the listenership that, and then just next door to this billiard room, I saw there's actually a picture of Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, wow.
Because you see Queen Elizabeth II is all
Yes.
over this place.
There's quite a few pieces of artwork in here that are actually the collection of the CEO, and there's some pretty amazing pieces, including a Warhol, and
Maybe
also
that's the Wayne Gretzky.
a Salvador Dali one as
Oh,
well.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay, we
the
got to get
statue
pictures
that's
of
out
these
there.
things. We got to get pictures. So then just you go to the second floor, okay? You got Sir Henry's suite, Sir Henry's bathroom, Lady Pellet's suite, Lady Pellet's bathroom. So they had separate suites? Is that how they rolled back then?
A lot of people rolled that way back then. Maybe
she snore?
Maybe one was a big snorer. Yeah, you never
I
know.
like to cuddle.
Oh.
I don't want to be in another bed. I want to even forget all the dirty thoughts.
Gets
right?
a little too warm for me, but I can see why. Yeah,
I know. I like a good spoon
on a good cold night, especially a good good cold Canadian night. Yeah.
This guy spoons. Okay,
Mr. Bruce.
make a T-shirt. We'll sell it at TM Electron. This guy spoons. Okay, the Girl Guides exhibit.
Oh, yes.
That's on the second floor. The guest suite. That's where you and I are going to spend the night. The guest
very
suite.
cool. We'll stay here and see some ghosts.
Can't wait. Windsor room and round room. That's all going on
Now,
the second floor.
One of the places I remember distinctly was Sir Henry's bathroom because there is the coolest shower in that place. I remember that from a kid. I think that's one of the things I remember the most.
We
was
can get
his
in there
shower.
today?
I think we can get in there today. I'm not sure. I
This
think
is-
it's open on
I can't
regular
believe we're
tours.
here. Like, we're going to run rampant
But
here.
it's so cool. It's got these copper pipes that go all around and fully encircle a person, and you get jets of water from all over. And just amazing.
I just spiked here. Could I get a little
I don't know,
shower?
maybe. Well, I don't know if it's working right now, but we'll see.
Oh, wow. Well, you don't have to record that one. Okay. Okay, the third floor. We get to go to the third floor here. The Queen's Own Rifles of Canada Regimental Museum.
The third floor was largely unfinished when Sir Henry was here. So when when the second hotel came in, they spent a lot of money refinishing the area on the third floor for rooms to have guests stay as the hotel. But eventually it became the Regimental Museum. That was one of Sir Henry or Henry Pellet's wishes, was to have a museum here for the Queen's Own Rifles, and they've been here for decades. I think since the Kiwanis Club has been here pretty much,
Wow,
like maybe a
74
little bit
years.
after them.
The Two Intelligence Company and Camp X Museum.
Camp X was a camp for spies and espionage.
So Elon Musk had nothing to do with it.
No, this is a very old X, and it doesn't have anything to do with the X-Men or anything like that either.
Right.
But this is where a lot of the spies that basically were the James Bonds of their days, they would get some of the items from here, the top secret, secret little maps. Like they printed scarves, or they printed maps on scarves and put them on women, so it would just look like a regular scarf, but it gave them the location for everything. So Camp X was where they actually did the training, and apparently Ian Fleming trained there and eventually would go on to write the James Bond series.
What a coincidence.
So there's so much Canadian inspiration and things that we really don't think is there, but that's a huge one.
That's a huge one. And just like Superman has such a strong Toronto influence.
Yes, for sure. With the Toronto Star Building and Simon or Schuster, and they were basically inspired by that building to make the Daily Planet.
We all saw the Heritage Minute.
Yes. Yep.
We should, one episode, we should just find all those old Heritage Minutes we saw as a
they're
kid and
great.
kind of revisit them all.
Maybe Ed Conroy's got to have all those tapes somewhere. Yeah.
Maybe the people, whoever owns it, might cooperate with us. Like, you know?
And I remember in that Heritage Minute, he goes, "Here, Lois, something I drew up," and
and
he's on the train. Yeah.
Oh, we'll never forget. Every time I smell burnt toast, I tell my kids, "Burnt toast, Dr. Penfield."
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Anytime my wife says she smells something like that, I go,
having a stroke.
It's getting annoying now.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, whoever the mining disaster, what is it, the Halifax boat explosion? Or what happened in Halifax, the big explosion?
In Halifax, there was two ships collided out there, and one of them was a munition ship.
Right.
And it took fire and exploded, and creating the largest explosion recorded before the nuclear bombs went off.
And the guy in the Morse code, and of course he dies.
Yes, he
wow.
sacrificed his life to stop a train from coming into town, and it didn't get destroyed.
I mean, take a note on this, because I actually do want to do this. And then the Underground Railroad, these were amazing.
For sure.
These were amazing. And Laura
Lots of
Secord
connections up here with the Underground Railroad and Laura Secord as well, because of Canada being one of the safe places that people escaping from the States could come. Although Canada also did have slavery for a time, and but we were one of the, through Simcoe and a few of the laws made, one of the first safe havens for Americans to escape to.
Okay, so if you're keeping track, Simcoe's okay, Dundas not so good, right?
Well, Simcoe had his problems. Everybody has their problems historically.
Everything in the
Everyone's got
context
their
of the
skeletons
time,
in
right?
the closet. Yep.
Right. Okay. So quickly to finish the third floor, the Kiwanis room, the garden room, servants room, and the Austin room. Not Austin like Austin Matthews, but Austin like Austin Powers.
No, not Austin Powers either. Sorry.
Okay, well, that Austin.
But the Austin family, Spadina House that's just over there, that was the Austin family house.
Right.
They owned a lot of the land here, and they also carved the path out that created Spadina. So
how come it's Spadina House and the street's called Spadina?
Well,
riddle me that, Batman.
Spadina House, they tried to go for more of an indigenous flavor, and call it more by its original name.
Well, maybe we should rename the street Spadina.
Of Ishbadina.
Ishbadina.
And if you look on some of the street names or the street signs that are down on Spadina, they have the other name on the top, the traditional name.
So you got an answer for everything. And also, just I want to shout out the stairs to towers.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Now, are we able to do that? Like, will we be able to take stairs to towers?
You know, I really hope so, because that is kind
Let's
of
see how will let us do it.
It's kind
She's
of a
got
cool
the key.
place to go to as well. When I was a kid, it was very unfinished, and we didn't really think it was that remarkable, but now they've got a lot of cool things up there.
We're going up there. And when I say stairs to towers, I want to be clear. Not the department store that I used to know from Galleria Mall.
Yes, I used to know it very well, too. In Scarborough, it was up at Lawrence and Midland, and it had round windows, and I used to love the toy department there.
Yeah, this particular towers at Galleria Mall became a Zellers.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of a good
I think
fit.
a lot of tellers became Zellers.
Because the
towers became Zellers.
The color scheme translated pretty easy. They had red as well, or sort of an
Absolutely.
orangey red.
By the way, there's a basement here. You know how Pee-wee was embarrassed, absolutely embarrassed when he asked to go to the basement of the Alamo.
Yeah.
And they were mean. They laughed at Pee-wee.
Jan Hooks just laughs at him like she doesn't even care.
Right, Jan Hooks, exactly. The late great. And remember, that movie was directed by the same guy who directed The Batman from 1989, Tim Burton.
Tim Burton, yes.
So there
Same
is no
music, too.
basement at the Alamo, but there is a basement at Casa Loma.
There is. There definitely is. And
Here's what's
there's
down there, okay?
Been here from the beginning.
Okay, so obviously, I just learned, I confirmed, the bowling lane and the shooting range were never completed.
Oh, okay.
No
okay.
bowling. We aren't going to be bowling today.
Oh, it's too bad.
And,
Apparently they did finish a wine cellar, though, and a few years ago when
Yeah.
they were doing renovations here, they found it and they
Yeah.
brought it back.
Yeah, so there is a wine cellar in the basement. Good call, J-Ho. There's a gift shop, of course, because you got to exit through the gift shop. I think that's an important note. Castle Cafe, because it was going to be a gymnasium, but they didn't complete that either. So a lot of the basement never done. So the swimming pool never finished. By the way, never completed the swimming pool. Bowling lanes never completed. Shooting range never completed. The gymnasium never completed. But they
Yeah.
do have a wine cellar, and they have a tunnel to the hunting lodge and stables down there.
I guess at least you could, since you didn't have all those amenities yet, he could just have a drink and pine away about it.
Okay, I'm going to visit the live stream. I didn't know we'd be able to live stream this remote, but we got a Wi-Fi password, and here we are.
Amazing. I didn't know up until now either, and I'm sorry to everybody that wanted to jump on the live stream today.
Well, I want to say hello to Al, we've already brought in a comment from Al. Al points out that Scott Pilgrim.
Yes, they had a big fight scene out front of Casa Loma here, and Scott Pilgrim kind of gets sent down the stairs and skateboards down the railing, right?
Absolutely. Midtown Gord, by the way, who had to go to work, but does say that if you go to the gift shop and cafeteria, that's where the bowling alley was supposed to be. But we just learned that, so that's kind of amazing. So the inflation calculator, Canada Kev is on the live stream. He did the math for us. So that $3.5 million in 1914 would be about $95 million today.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, they were getting bread really cheap back then.
Yes.
But, all relative. So thank you, Canada Kev, for doing the inflation calculator.
That was before sliced bread, too, I think, popularized.
Oh, Casa Loma, biggest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
I think that was the original slogan to come check this place out here. I want to say hello to who else is on this live stream? Hey Ref is here. Hello to Hey Ref. And, of course, Mike is here. Mike, is always good to see you here. Moose Grumpy is here. She says maybe we should name this Moose Head Dawn, D-A-W-N.
Oh, okay.
You can figure out why.
Dawn.
You had to crack
yes,
that. There you
yes.
go. Apparently, on her birth certificate, it does not say Moose Grumpy.
Well, that's a sweet name, too.
Well, maybe we'll talk to her about this at TMLX 21 here. WBN 1000 is here. Good to see everybody on the live stream. Here's a question from Canada Kev. You ready?
Okay.
By the way, and Al says we should do a live recording from the Horseshoe Tavern.
Oh, that would be incredible, yes.
We talk about the history of the Horseshoe Tavern.
They might be actually up for that.
If you buy a beer, they'll give you, of course. I love that. The checkerboard
one of the
floors.
bartenders there is very big in the rockabilly scene and a few retro scenes and stuff.
You know
and
what?
he's kind of a staple there. Maybe he'd be up for
That's
it.
a great suggestion, Al. So keep them coming there. But Canada Kev said, did the neighbor Spadina house have anything to do with Casa Loma? You just explained that.
They didn't really have anything to do with it, but they were one of the neighbors that probably complained about Casa Loma back when it was
the
a
noise,
hotel.
all these orchestras here.
They didn't really like. The neighborhood's very reserved and
Yeah.
a little bit NIMBYism.
Still is.
NIMBYism going on, so they were very concerned about what was going on here. And but the Austins, though, they did own. I guess we're one of the earliest people owning the land here, and they're just right next door. But,
And we should point out the address for Casa Loma is 1 Austin Terrace.
Yes.
There you go.
Definitely.
And I don't even know, like I always assume everybody knows where Casa Loma is, but maybe some people don't, or they're not from Toronto. Who am I, right? So we should point out maybe where we are, like relative. Like, so I mentioned my bike ride here. I took Davenport.
Yeah.
So how would you describe this geographical locale?
I guess we're right.
Ignore that ring there. Who's that? It's Sir Henry Pellet's on the phone. You know what? It's Dave Charles. I got to phone him back. But Dave
That
Charles.
reminds me, I got to mute mine.
Well, no, it's I'm a terrible host. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Basically, if you're in downtown Toronto and you go to Spadina, take that straight north, and you will run into a hill, and that's where Casa Loma is. And it's just above DuPont, I guess. And
Yeah, well, DuPont is south of Davenport.
Yeah.
So it's Davenport.
Oh, yeah.
But then,
Oh, yeah, sorry,
So
Davenport,
then if you
yes.
go the neighborhood north,
I get
so
the Ds mixed
so
up.
you got your is trying to get I'm trying because yesterday I happened to be in Forest Hill yesterday coincidentally, and that's like north of this Casa Loma neighborhood. You go north and you're in like Forest Hill.
oh, right.
That's where Drake is from, apparently.
But this neighborhood's actually called the Casa Loma neighborhood
Yeah.
now. It's
Why
kind
not?
of taken on the name.
It's gorgeous. It's so photogenic. So what, as we wrap up here, and Mike shouts out, Teddy Fury. Is that the guy from the Horseshoe Tavern? Teddy Fury?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
Mike
forgot
knows.
his name.
Mike
Okay.
knows. This guy knows.
Yeah,
his
that
stuff.
guy's a legend himself. Like, you could do an episode just on what he knows.
And then Canada Cat points out Austin Terrace sounds ostentatious. But if you haven't noticed, we're in a 98-room castle. This is the most
like
awesome.
Jane Austen, I guess.
Like I only know a Toronto with Casa Loma in it, and school trips came here because it was a castle. Like there
Yes.
are no other castles I know of in this. There's not even a White Castle. Like there is no castle in Toronto.
In Scarborough, there was a White Castle Hotel, but yeah.
It's no castle. I'm sorry,
castle,
I can't
though.
think of one, and I've lived here a long
And I
long
guess
time.
technically a lot of people, historians will yell about this. This is not a castle.
Okay,
This
why
is-
isn't it a castle?
This is a residence.
You're a
'cause
historian. Oh, because he lived here?
It was just, this is just a big house, they basically say. But it's sort of,
Does castle need like an army of some sort, or
maybe it needs royalty to actually live in it to be classified as a castle. I'm not sure what the definition really is about a castle, but it is Toronto's castle at least. I mean, this is one of our main big attractions, I guess,
Absolutely. So
as far as architecture goes.
do you want to, Jeremy, just because before we say goodbye, I'll shout out some partners real quick.
Yeah.
But I almost feel like if you could just take some time to talk about just what you see in this room.
Oh, definitely.
Like, I mean, this room, it's been an hour. We've been sitting here and I'm soaking it all in.
Yeah. Well, behind us, there's a big wall of what were leaded glass windows. I think there is some of the original windows still in there.
Here, let me see.
But it's a huge...
It's stronger than the original. I don't know. It feels like it's been reinforced somehow.
And then
let me
as-
try to punch through it.
And as you look around, there's a big area with wine bottles all displayed there, a wine cabinet, and antlers in a amazing looking chandelier here that's very half rustic looking.
We got to
with,
get a picture of that.
with old school light bulbs in there, and the moose just sort of looking at us the whole time behind a bar, which I think I see the ghost of Jack Nicholson there smiling, and it's just an incredible room. And let's see what else is in here. They've got some nice leather seats around.
Did you see in the corner? That's the pellet coat of. Is that called a coat of arms? What is that
Oh,
called?
yeah.
Is it a crest?
That definitely looks like a crest or a coat of arms. Yes.
Yeah, I believe that's the original pellet family crest.
There is a few coat of arms and neat things that you find around here. Like I think there's a massive squirrel that's on top of the stables that are outside, and there's also the crest for the Queen's Own rifles above one of the doors out there too. So you'll find little details like that sort of engraved all over the place in here.
Man, so again, Jeho, thank you for making this happen because we spitball ideas.
Yeah.
And I can't remember how this came to be, but I think maybe I thought of Casa Loma for an episode, and I think you may have responded with, maybe we can do it at Casa Loma.
Yeah, that was one of the episodes. I think you just kind of threw it out into the ether, and I was like, maybe I could make that happen. I don't know. Let's let's try it out. And Alicia was just great and spoke with the Liberty Entertainment.
Soft-spoken woman, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, but she gets the job done though.
No, she gets it done there. It's just she had the furnace burning behind her, so I didn't want to like amp her too much. And then, but I was glad to get her on the show. So thank you to Alicia and a couple of other young women who work with her. I got to meet, and if I were a better host, I'd remember their freaking names. But they were amazing. One of them even got me a coffee.
Amazing.
So is there any other fun facts, mind blows you want to spill out here in garbage time? Think about it maybe.
Yeah.
While I very, very, very quickly, again, episode 1800. You don't get to 1800 without without wonderful support. So you need a community of listeners to get to 1800.
Oh, for sure. Yes. And you have a great community. You see them at the TMLX events, and it's just really great supportive people.
Well, that's it. So I used to have this anxiety before a TMLX where I would tell myself that it'll just be me and Langer. Okay. So or maybe VP, maybe Stephanie Wilkinson, but I can't, who knows? She could be busy. She's been spending some time in Vancouver, etc. So I have this, it's like, nobody's going to come. Oh. And then I always have to walk myself off the ledge, which is, well, you're not taking a bath on this because you are not selling tickets. So if 5 people come or 500 people come, I make the same money. You know what I mean? Which is none.
Yes.
Like, I don't make money on this deal. Despite what Nick Ianni's, by the way, thank you to Nick Ianni's. He thinks I should be charging like $60 for a TMLX event.
Oh, wow.
He says,
Wow.
I'm not charging a penny right now, but Nick Ianni's, he's got some great business ideas, and he's become a dear friend. I'm going to go to his home on Thursday to help set up a little bit of a home studio for him. And I do urge people to listen to Nick's podcasts, which are called that's Brad Jones's podcast, Life's Undertaking. So listen to Brad Jones's podcast, Life's Undertaking, but listen to Nick's podcast, Building Toronto's Skyline, which really should have a Casa Loma episode now that I think about it. What a key part of the city's skyline. But also Building Success. His most recent guest is Tony Clement. We recorded that last week. Tony Clement and Nick having a great conversation. So thank you to Nick. So I don't make any money at these TMLX events, and then I think nobody will show, and then inevitably, of course, people come out, and I can't believe it, and then we get a great recording in there. Elvis is going to co-host, and we're going to have a great recording on the 29th of November. Everybody is invited, and then you know, the fact that you can offer people free food, free beer, and a gift from Retrofestive. By the way, if you use the promo code FOTM, you save 10% at retrofestive.ca. And while I'm shouting out partners and how you can reach them, write Doug Mills. He's Doug at blueskyagency.ca if you're looking for dynamic and creative work environments, okay? I feel like this place needs some privacy pods from Silent, okay?
Oh, yeah, it could work
it's
in
so
here. Yes.
Open concept and get a privacy pod in here from Silent so I can do a private Zoom call or something, and I'm closing a deal over here. Come on. VP needs one. So contact Doug and talk to him about all that important stuff. And you know what? When this gentleman, Sir Henry Pellet, was building this place, he's got a smoking room in here. Mm-hmm. I'll bet you he didn't even consider the fact that people living at Casa Loma could go to shopkindling.ca, purchase their cannabis product, and that it would be delivered to Casa Loma in under an hour.
Oh, wow. They could have some reefer madness back
and they would be in that smoking room,
Yeah.
and Canada Kev would be there, and Andrew Ward, and I think Langer would be collapsed on one of these fainting chairs or whatever. Well, you know, Langer can't handle his weed, you know.
Well.
So I urge all listeners to go to shopkindling.ca. And I have, last but not least on this front, before we close out with the great J-Ho, recyclemyelectronics.ca.
Oh, very cool.
This place was built with electricity.
Yes, it was. Yes. So there's probably some old cords here.
He's got old cords here. I bet you that Henry Pellet fellow has a room full of old cords. Yeah. And I'm worried Alessia is going to throw it in the garbage.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So I got to tell her about recyclemyelectronics.ca.
Some good copper back in the day.
Mike says charge Nick $60 and everybody else is free. You know what? There we go.
Nick can sponsor all of us.
You know what? Nick is going to be $60 to go to TMLX 21. Everybody else is free. So again, I don't want to oversell it, except that it is a low risk enterprise. Like, you show up, I see you, and then I'll smile and feel good that you're there. If you want to, you can come on the microphone and say hi like you did that day. That's how we became buds.
So glad.
You don't have to. Like, some people don't want to be on the microphone. You don't have to come on the microphone, but you might want to. Regardless, you're going to go to that hot table and order some delicious Italian food. Mm-hmm. You're going to eat that and get full. And you don't have to take out your wallet or tap your phone or anything. And I do have a plan. I have the VP picking me up, and we're going to get some fresh craft beer that morning from GLB and a bunch of ice. And I'm going to have cold craft beer from Great Lakes Brewery.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And Ty the Christmas guy is going to take care of everybody with a gift.
That's amazing.
Is this an infomercial now?
It can be. I love his gifts, and I've actually known about him for quite a while. We've talked about him in the past, about the Christmas Story movie and all those connections. And actually, I'm going to be helping him out. He's going to the Niagara Comic Con on December 6th. And they're going to do a pop-up display about A Christmas Story with a lot of replicas and some props from the movie. And so that should be fun.
No, happy to hear it. He's a great guy, and they've been sponsors of this program for November and December. And here's the teaser. I can tell you the gift that people will receive at TMLX 21 is related to A Christmas Story. That's all I can say.
Oh, wow.
I don't want to spoil it, but it will be related to A Christmas Story.
Nice.
All right, J-Ho, home stretch here. I don't want to leave anything out.
Unless there was specific details.
Well, I am curious about the 74 years. So it's sort of like, all this stuff is going on. He can't afford it. He moves in with his chauffeur. The city takes over because of back taxes, whatever, this, that, the other. All this is going on. Suddenly, the Kiwanis Club steps in to kind of like save this place. Mm-hmm. And then 74 years later, right? We're in 2011. So in that 74 years, this is simply a buy a ticket and tour it as a tourist attraction?
Buy a ticket as a tourist attraction, but they also had quite a few events here.
Oh, sure.
Themed events, like they would have a Christmas themed event every year.
Right.
And have like sort of like what they're doing now with the Christmas event that they're currently setting up, and invite people and do fundraising for people in need. Also, projects that they needed to get done in the city. So it pretty much did the same thing for all of those years, and special events would happen as well.
And today, it is a tourist attraction. People, as we are in this.
Oh, yeah.
This room, which is also a restaurant. I don't know if we mentioned that, but we're in the billiard room, but there's no billiard table in the billiard room that I can see. But it is a fancy restaurant. It looks super fancy in here, and people later tonight will come here and dine.
Yeah, Blue Blood Restaurant operates nightly, and once we get out of here, it'll start up again, and they do, you can come in this as a museum during the day and look at a lot of these rooms. But yeah, during night and during special events, some things are closed off. But there's a general admission where you can go in the third floor. You get admission to the Queen's Own Rifles Museum. You also get admission to any special exhibits that they're having here, like the ones that they set up in the stables. And also, there's been some ones here where they paid tribute to some of the movies that they had here.
And did we miss shouting out some of these big movies that filmed here? I feel like this is a good chance to dump some of those.
We talked about X-Men. We talked about Darkman. and Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim.
And boy, what hasn't shot here? It's almost like every movie that comes to Toronto, they have some kind of a movie that they want to put in here. But yeah, we haven't shouted out some of them. I've got a couple.
Here, while you dig that up, I took a 3-second clip from a movie. Let's see if you can name that movie. Let's see how good you are at this.
All right.
So, you ready? Name this movie.
Bye-bye, boys! Have fun storming the castle!
What movie is that from?
Oh, boy. Is that Strange Brew?
Oh, no, good guess. So that was Billy Crystal and Carol Kane.
Oh, yeah.
And they're wearing makeup to look very old. And I have a mug on the TMDS studio table. There's a mug for a wrestler I liked growing up who is amazing in this movie.
Oh, my God. I can't remember it. I see them in my head.
Okay, I'll help you out here.
Is it Scrooge? Ready? No.
The Princess Bride.
Oh, sorry.
That's a scene.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
So one more time, since I cut it out.
Bye-bye, boys! Have fun storming the castle!
I remember now. Yep.
So here, taking us home here. Today, there's an escape room here. I mentioned what's going on right now is you can literally, people are coming in here, buying a ticket and touring this place.
Yes.
We're not part of the tour. They roped us off, but we should have been part of this tour.
That would have been fun.
We could have been waving to tourists. People could be coming through. We're like, yeah, this is the billiard. I almost called it the billboard room, the billiard room. And this is Jeremy Hopkin. I'm Toronto Mike, and we're recording episode 1800 of Toronto Mike, the podcast.
Right on. That'd be cool. We could have done a live audience in here. They could have sat around and watched.
Well, these are all future endeavors.
Yeah.
We could have a TMLX event here.
That would be incredible.
Catered by Palma Pasta with the beer from Great Lakes, and that would be something.
I will definitely ask Alicia if any of this is a possibility in the future.
Well, then if you're talking to Alicia, let's get Casa Loma as a sponsor of Toronto Mike.
That's what I was just saying.
You were going to say that.
I was.
Okay. You know what? You're the new VP of sales. Okay. Are you ready for that? So this was amazing.
Thank you so much.
I mean, geez.
And for all the Robert Lawsons out there, I'm sorry if I missed any little details that you wanted, but I guess I could name off some of the movies that were filmed here.
Yeah.
Strange Brew. This was Elsinore Brewery. This was the top of it. I don't know if it was just matte painting or they actually filmed here, but
amazing.
This was a good chunk of the Elsinore Brewery. There's also Cocktail. Filmed a lot of scenes in here. Chicago. The Tuxedo.
Right, Chicago, the musical, right.
Hannibal. The Handmaid's Tale films here regularly. There's also Billy Madison. Quite a few of the scenes were filmed here too.
Billy Madison. Billy Madison is the one with Norm Macdonald.
Adam Sandler.
Yeah, but Norm Macdonald. I'm trying to remember. He's in that one, right? He's in that one, yes. Norm Macdonald is in Billy Madison. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I can see him in the swimming pool. Remember?
Yes, he's one of the buddies, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. So shout out to the late great Norm Macdonald. Okay, sorry. More movies?
Oh no, that was it. But pretty much everything's had a little bit part at least in here.
So the song I was playing before this brand new outro by Rob Bruce.
Nice.
I think it's the third time maybe I've played it. It's fresh. It came during Toast last week. So there's new Easter eggs you can enjoy. You can even, I'll keep your mic open if you want to respond to Easter eggs.
Sweet.
But the other song I was playing just before I faded into this one is Girl of My Dreams, again, by Glenn Gray and the Casa Loma Orchestra.
Oh, nice.
And J-Ho, as far as I'm concerned, I don't say this to many people. I'm going to say it to you right now. You're the girl of my dreams.
Oh, well, thank you, Mike. I'm blushing now.
We'll see if you can name all the Easter eggs at the end of this thing. But I want to thank everybody for listening. Episode 1800. I really hope I get a good turnout for TMLX 21. It might just be Langer and I. There's going to be a lot of beer for us.
I think you will. You might have to turn people away, Mike.
Okay. That's my dream come true. Oh, Nick. Sorry, Nick. We're full. It's my dream come true.
Well, thank you so much, Mike. This has been a lot of fun.
Well, thanks for making this happen. This doesn't happen without J-Ho.
Amazing.
More than just a handsome man in a nice hat. The photo we take for this episode has to be epic.
We're gonna try. We'll make it epic.
And that brings us to the end of our 1,800th show. 1,800.
Amazing.
Go to torontomike.com for all your Toronto Mike needs, and much love to all who made this possible. That's Retro Festive, Great Lakes Brewery, Palma Pasta, Nick Ieni's, Kindling, go to shopkindling.ca, recyclemyelectronics.ca, Blue Sky Agency, and Ridley Funeral Home. I'm vamping a little bit because, J-Ho,
Yeah.
there's going to be new Easter eggs at the end of this, and you, as the official historian of the Toronto Mike podcast, we're going to hear if you know what songs Rob Bruce has put into the mix of this new extra.
All right. Subdivisions. Some Rush.
That is Subdivisions. And the guy saying Subdivisions is apparently me.
Oh.
Hey, what's this one?
Oh, right. Oh, Mr. Dress Up.
Mr. Dress Up. Who's this?
Oh, that's a Zit Remedy. Everybody wants something.
You got it.
We'll never give
you're,
up.
You're very good at this, J-Ho. What are you, Gen X or something? What's going on here?
I'm right in there, yeah.
Oh, you're like my wife. She's sort of like a cusper. Oh, what's this?
Is this Black Cars?
Black Cars, Gino Vanelli.
We took pictures in front of Black Cars before.
Cars.
Oh, the polka dot door. Amazing.
J-Ho knows his polka dot door.
To the polka dot door.
And we're closing up again with Rosie and Gray
Right on.
by Lowest of the Low. Thanks for listening. 1800, 1801 with Hebsy is tomorrow. Woohoo. See you then.
Oh, and Oh Canada. Elbows up.